Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me share my screen. Somebody give me a sound check. Let me know if you hear me okay. So we have market opening rotation. Let's see what happens here. The easiest trade that we have possibly setting up is the Russell on just smart marketing opening rotation. The Russell, see, you have a little red here, obviously well above the green area. It would have to do a trend break for us to make the trade to the upside. Otherwise, we don't have anything setting up just quite yet. Okay. NAS is, trading up, but not quite our setup. I'm just looking at NAS here for a sec. NAS still has a sort of a lower low here on this red move against this green. So it'd have to NAS is doing its typical thing. We had a huge sell-off at the 7 o'clock hour on news that the Chinese invaded Taiwan airspace. Not the first time they've done this, but obviously market is on kind of tenterhooks because they think that the Chinese are going to try and Chinese have been basically telegraphing they're going to try and make a move against Taiwan. They want to consolidate. They really want to consolidate their power. Not that they've essentially taken over Hong Kong. And obviously, if that were to happen, it'd have a massive impact on all sorts of geopolitical issues, including the fact, by the way, that Taiwan Semiconductor is the largest semiconductor foundry, and I just thought of this right now. I wonder if like a huge part of the Chinese move has nothing to do with the fact that they want Taiwan, but they want the Taiwan semiconductor business because Chinese really want to go into the chip manufacturing by themselves, and that is going to give them an easy entryway. So I'm looking over here, by the way. We are starting. We'll have to see how this is playing out, but we're starting to shade to the downside now. You can, let me make this a little thicker. I'm using a line graph here for you. It looks like, whoa, really dropped. Whoa, look at that drop. Market really faked everybody out. Line. I want thickness like this. Let's do this thickness. Okay, you guys can really see the line now, right? So if we get a break to the downside, because remember, look, if you look at this a little bit here, what you have is a sliver of green that's clearly below the red area. We get a break to the downside here. That breaks the move. Obviously, we had a big reversal from the 80s to the 30s, the typical stock market pump and dump. And if we start breaking fresh lows, that would suggest the market really continues to be in a sell mode. I mean, we've been looking at heavy all day long. It feels like it wants to be even heavier for a while, and it's going to take a while before any kind of up trades come up. Everybody sees what I'm showing you here. You see how this shaded green area is below the moving average, below the starting point of the red area. Okay, cool. And that becomes kind of our pivotal point here for a short. There was small opportunity. I missed it because honestly, like I'm waiting for Daniel to put in the programming function, because the thing about this particular setup is, especially on a 1 minute chart, you have to be super patient and then super quick, which is something that we as human beings obviously don't have the capacity, but computers can just sit there and wait till the moment comes. So for example, you can see here, this is a sliver of a green, well significantly below the prior red. Strong break here was a break at around the 60. What was this close here? Sorry, let me give this to you. Right here, 68.50, and actually went for for more than 5 points. Went down to like 62. So you just made just barely 5 points against this move over here. Let's see. We're getting. If you want to see this, let me just give you a different view here. If I go this way, futures, you'll see. Although, so far not breaking. It may be a couple of candles here. So you can see, we're not breaking the low here. We need the break of the low here for us to trigger a sell signal with a 5 target. As to, sorry, I'm just going to move this over like this, so it's not, I'm not blocking anything. Let's see what's happening on the Dow. Dow actually, completely reversed the other way. And as I said, like the Russell looked positive to me for a little bit, but now the Russell has really put us into a negative bind. We don't have, even if this turns positive, the red is well below the green. We really don't have a trade here as far as a setup. I mean, it could work, but the point is, it's not a high probability trade. I'm going to show you just how high the probability is once you really adhere to the setup. When I run you through all my currency trades overnight. But let's just see what else is going. I'm just waiting to see if. Okay, so it doesn't look like NAS is going to break the. We'll keep an eye on this. If NAS breaks this, as a matter of fact, actually, you know what? Let me. I'm going to set this up so I'll know on my other algo. All right, I set that up for a sell. For a sell moment. So, while the market tries to shake itself out in the first 15, 20 minutes, let's review the currency action, which is very interesting. And let's start with the euro dollar first. And my sort of view of the currency action starts at around 2 a.m. this morning, which is basically European open, right? So, right away, I don't have to go back. You can see sharp sell-off in the euro, a very paltry little retrace green area, considerably well below the highs over here. Sell over here at 452, super clean trade. The entry here is 211. It goes all the way down to 2000, right? Actually goes even further down, right? Here we don't get any sell signals. That the market starts to trade back up a little bit. Here's an interesting point that the markets. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, you actually had a counter trend signal for 5 points to the upside, which I think I also took. I don't remember. I think I took this one too. So as you can see here, let me just you can make it very clear. The red is above the prior green. The strong break puts you into the trade at 2011, and you're only looking for 5 points, and it goes to 2018. So totally doable trade both ways, as long as you're patient and as long as you follow the rules. You're in the trade, and it worked fine, right? As a matter of fact, I think then what I did, I know this trade I took for sure. The next trade was this 22 trade, because clearly you can see the red is considerably above the green, and that traded all the way up to like 30. So I mean, you're not going to get. You're looking only for 5 points. You're not going to get much more, but you are getting that 5 points because you're trading the 1 minute chart. Let's kind of understand where, where your reality lies. What's very cool, and we can look at this a little bit later, as soon as we kind of get a feel for where the equities are, is what's very cool is that this is very fractal, and then it works super well on the hourly charts and longer term charts as well. Like as we're looking right now, for example, I mean, the thing that's interesting is you can, once you begin to integrate the setup, you start to understand, oh, so here, we have a big leg up. This retrace leg is very, very shallow. So if this retrace leg turns back into a green leg with a breakout, that's another buy signal for us. Oh, and it looks like we're starting to get, as I'm watching, NAS is starting to create a strong break to the downside. So this candle, if this candle completes and holds a strong break, we'll see where we stand. And we'll trade. As a matter of fact, we'll switch to the candlesticks because it's easier for you guys to see the candlestick price action. It's really just getting shoved. So let's see if we could got 19, 20 seconds. We'll trade this thing if it triggers to the downside. Very spiky action, as you can see it. All right, we're in at 8. Huh. I don't know what happened to my thing. All right, I'm in actually at 10. And spiking against me. But I'm in at 10, not at 8. For some reason. Okay, we'll let that play out. I did have a second thought about this. That this is such a sharp decline, but if I'm in at 10, I'm looking to see if it can come down to 5 here on the move, and we'll see if it does come into 5. I took it at +4 here, but I think it has a chance to come in at 5. I just don't like the spikiness of this action. So mainly because so much of I think I know what it was. Oh, I know what it. I know my algo didn't trigger because this whole candle was actually massive, and all the profit was in the candle. I forced myself to come into the trade, and that was probably not smart. We may have a chance to make this, but the vol filter actually kicked in here because the trade, this move here was literally more than 20 points on the filter. Like the whole profit was already in the candle, unfortunately. So probably it was smart. I was wondering, like, why did the algo pass up? It makes sense that it would have passed up. If you guys still in the trade, I'll leave it to you. I think it may crack a little bit more, but the trade is not as good as if it was a tighter fall. But I still, it may still break it. Anyways, I'm counting this as just +3 for me because that's all I took out of this whole thing. Mainly because, as I said, the whole move happened within the candle itself. Didn't leave us much room for additional profit. Okay. Where was I totally lost my train of thought of where I was before. I was on the euro. Was I on the euro? I was on the euro. Let me come back to the euro. Oh, yeah. Okay. So euro. So euro now is actually clearly, starting to set up a trigger. Now here I can actually set up my euro longs here on my trade, and we'll see if the euro clears a breakout signal. That's a legitimate trade to the upside on the euro. Let's take a look at the pound. Pound has been super weak this morning because I think the data was actually much worse than expected, and not really pound positive. Now here's a trade, and this is where this particular setup can trip you up, and this is one of the things that I'm just learning to modify or learning to kind of the only way to really kind of do this is you either pass up on the setup or you just simply have a relatively tight stop. The setup is like this. So this is a clear classic sell, right? But the leg has been so strong that most of the downside price action, there's just no continuity. So there's no continuity. This actually effectively stops you out, and then you have kind of a reversal trade. Now, what's interesting about this reversal trade is that the red over here is just a tad bit lower than the green starting point, so it's not quite a legitimate trade to the upside. But because it kind of stops you out on the original trade, the reverse move the other way sometimes is actually quite a good trade. So it's not a horrible idea to try to see if you could get long, like oh, by the way, for those of you who, I'm just watching NASDAQ, for those of you who are patient enough to stay with this thing, that actually broke to the downside. So it really did break. Did anybody? Yeah, Fumihiro got 5. If you're patient enough to have stayed with this trade, you got it. So good for you. So back to the pound. The pound actually looks kind of mildly like a long trade. Like in a perfect world, what you want is a fake out, like a stop out on the short side that sets up truly long. So maybe we want to be a little bit patient here and see if it'll set up truly long for us on the move. Certainly euro looking. Euro's got a strong break. How come it didn't take me out? Huh. Oh, you know what? This is so interesting. Trading View. So I don't have. Wow, that's really interesting. The Trading View pricing and MT4 pricing sometimes differs, even on the same broker. So I don't have a trigger yet. It would have to clear now. Like, let's see, I got 19 seconds. I'll tell you if I'm in the trade on the euro. I got about what, 13, 14. Let's see if this clears. Because the high level it's setting is actually right here. Unless, do I have, hang on, let me see. Maybe I have the settings all wrong over here. My apologies. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's right. 3, it's proper. I don't know what's going on. Huh. I wonder if if I have the same thing on the euro here. Yeah, wow. It's just, I just have I don't have a breakout on MetaTrader, but I do have one on TradingView. It's just, with FX, you're always going to get just tiny, especially on a 1-minute chart, you're going to get discrepancies, unfortunately. All right, Euro Yen is another one of those that I've been looking at. So Euro Yen has been just a one-way down trade so far. We would need a second retrace and a second wave up for us to really make it a trade. Pound Yen, on the other hand, was a great trade. What I trade? I trade this as to the upside. It was a super easy. Here's a super easy. This was the 5 o'clock trade. You had very clear, definitive, higher red, and breakout here, and that just ran for more points than you needed. So there you go. And I generally focus mainly on the euro pound, euro yen, pound yen. Occasionally, I also was trading. If you want to trade something with higher volatility, euro kiwi, pound kiwi has been super good to trade. If you where I trade this? I'm just trying to find the. I think I cheated a little bit today, because this is basically flat. I traded this at the 445. No, I think this is what I did. This was the trade. So here you have a clear lower, higher low on the reds. This is the breakout. I took this at the 01 level. It goes maybe about 5 points against me, and then it straight up. It actually goes for much higher values than you think. So the Dow is finally also cracking. Let's take a look at the indices. Okay. Ooh, Dow's got a strong break, right? Let's just is this on the candle right now? Let me just go to the YM. I'm late on this. I'm sorry, guys. That should have been a sell at the 80. Um, ah, damn. So this, I'm sorry. I missed the Dow trade. But that was a clean, clear sell here. So now it's a little bit too late. I mean, unless you want to try and trade the retrace. I'm not a lover of chasing the Dow because the Dow is always super hard as a chase trade, but definitely working. I don't know if any of you guys are taking it right now. I can't. Karen's got 10 on the Dow and 30. So you were watching it. Why are you not? You gotta post it for me. I guess you're too busy trading. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sorry, guys. I trying to cover too many assets at once, and damn, I didn't even see this. That's interesting. This would have been no. It's really marginal here on the Russell. I mean, if you use this Russell, it would have been really really marginal. But honestly, if you were using this reference point on the Russell, you were well below the lows. The Russell could have been a great sell too. There's just everything sold really really hard on the open. We could have used that methodology for our trading here. So what else is going on? Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie is actually a break to the upside. Like that's worth a shot. If you're in it, like let's say 94, let's say we're in it like 95. Certainly have a chance to make 5,600. Let's see if we're we're in like 95. Trying to see if we can make the 5,600 on this, because that's a legitimate trade. It's very very clean and clear here. You see, where it's really really clean and clear, the trades tend to be very definitive, right? You have a sharp move up, a retrace move that stops well ahead of the original breakout move, and then a secondary breakout move. And it looks like we're almost there. We're almost there at the 5,600. We'll see if that gets taken. If any of you took that trade, that worked. And that's the clean trade. That's really the clean trade that you want. I mean, the problem is that you get sidetracked by a lot of. Well, there you go. There's the 5,600. Another 5 points on the Euro Aussie on a very very clean structure. And it's not hard to understand the setup. The setup is basically I have a trend, I have a retrace that does not negate this trend. And that's really the word I'm looking for. Negate the trend, because it never even comes, or let's say it stops significantly ahead of the original trend breakout, and then I have a second breakout signal in the direction of the trend, and I go with that. And that's really it. It's just it's a 1, 2, 3 structure, and the cleaner the structure is, the cleaner the differences between step 2 and step 1, meaning step 2 is significantly higher than step 1 on the long side, or significantly lower than step 2 on the short side. The stronger you have the trade, the stronger the idea that the trade is going to work for you. And that's really like all it is. But what the point is that 80% of the time you have all these kind of in between looks. Yeah, that'd be great, Karen. If you see the setup and you post it, it'd be super. Because I only have one pair of eyes, and they are very very distracted half the time. But what I was going to say is, so what it does is it finds the clean, clear looks amidst a lot of very very problematic kind of views, right? Like where there's a lot of hesitancy and not very very clean structures. Here there was by the way, you go back here, that certainly was a legitimate signal, because here this is significantly above the breakout level, So you're long here at the 61 level, and it goes all the way up, obviously, here to like 71, So you have full 10 points move. And maybe, like, I wonder if I can do this. Which one is the, oh man, which one is the shapes? I have shapes here. Rectangle, here we go. So you could I could identify the areas where it's absolutely clear, where it's really, really clear that you have that setup, right? Like this is crystal clear, right? You guys can see this. You have a crystal clear view of the setup being true, right? In the meantime, on the equity side, everything is falling hard. And Connie was telling me about DAX, and I'm sorry, I've been really negligent on DAX here, but let's take a look at the DAX. The DAX, like Connie was absolutely right. The DAX had a, what is that, a 40 down to 11. Another great sharp decline. Super easy, super clean. I mean, this is highly, highly definitive, right? And you can really, really see it develop. So it's kind of cool. Connie's saying very easy 10 points. Yep. I mean, that's the whole point. When this thing works, it's a super easy 10 points because it totally works with the wind in your favor. You're trading with the price in your favor. And that's where you want to be. You just want to be on the, the key thing is just to avoid any kind of ambiguity. Even the minor, tiniest amount of ambiguity, it's not worth it. You just want to take the best possible trades. The beautiful thing is you see that on a 1 minute chart, there's certainly at least 10, maybe even like 15 quality, not just like random trades, but quality trade possibilities. Because euro has 2 or 3, euro, yen, pound, maybe have 1 or 2. You don't need much. And euro, kiwi, euro, odd, have a few, and that's it. You don't really need that many. I wouldn't trade pound cat, pound kiwi just because, unless you're going for like 10 points, 30 point stops, because they're just such a big volatility burn on all of them. So much bigger movement. Although even here, you can totally see it. The green doesn't make it above the breakout, the starting point of the red segment. So it's a continuation red right over here, 8 o'clock, just a pure straight trade to the downside. It all works. Let me see what's going on here on the Dow. Everything gets sold hard here. So the other very cool thing about all this is, when we're looking for turn signals, right? We all love to go, when is this thing going to turn? When is this thing going to turn? Well, the beautiful thing is that by having this very stringent criteria for the turn signal, we don't fall prey to the early turn signals, which tend to be false. In other words, if this thing does turn to the upside, and it certainly will, before the end of the day, there'll certainly be one true positive upside signal. But that signal will have a couple of conditions that are so important to our setup. It will have first a break to the high side, right? A start of the trend. Then a retrace that's going to not negate that break. And then a second break to the upside that's going to continue. And if we can capture that pattern, then we have the highest probability setup for what we want to do. Then we have a true confidence the turn will have extension, right? So watch for that. I mean, it will happen, but only under those conditions. In other words, it could happen completely differently. Like, in other words, we could have a pattern where it just simply turns here green and it just does a full V and goes vertical, takes out all the highs over here, and it's fine. In which case, great. It's just not our setup. It's not that it doesn't work any other way. It's just it doesn't work in our particular way, because V-shaped setups, while they're very, very profitable, are very rare and very often fail, right? And what we're looking for is a very, very high success rate, not necessarily the most immediate profitable rate, because we're looking for multiple trades, in that particular structure. So let's see how this develops as the day progresses. I found the Russell to be actually quite good for this, for this particular setup. Quite responsive on this particular setup. You certainly had, I think I had a Russell here where I was selling this over here. So if you can see this green area is just marginally lower than the prior red breakdown, right? So that means this red breakdown is a legitimate breakdown. You take this down and you can see it just simply collapses. If you occasionally you're going to get these kind of very, very thin, red areas prior to this that would negate a short signal just because the green is short, tiny bit higher. And here, you could use interpretively and say, you know what, I'm actually going to anchor off of this green area, which is significantly lower than this. And that's a pretty legitimate signal. I'm going to get short here. So, it comes down to interpretation on the moves. But yeah, absolutely. You have all these opportunities. Let's see what's going on over here. So this is actually like a good idea. This is a good example of the kind of a turn trade that could develop, right? And again, the operative word is could, because if this thing breaks to fresh lows, we don't have a trade. But assuming, and this is a big assumption, obviously, the pound yen holds bid here, that it stabilizes and then retraces back to green, right? Then this red slice is obviously above the prior green slice. So the next breakout in pound yen will be a legitimate breakout to the breakout to the upside. So we can watch this, see how it's moving. Let it play out. Meantime, equity is just getting decimated. Wow, what's the how much is this? 80. Oh, NAS is 2 points down, 2% down. A really sharp break. So it's going to be a very, very long day to find a turn trade in this thing. It's going to take a long time. It may be, that the Dow is going to have a faster turn. Either way, I don't think it's going to happen until the next couple of hours. So we have to give ourselves some patience. In the meantime, what's going on over here? Oh, pound Swiss is another one interesting. Okay, so this is an interesting trade here. Okay, so pound Swiss, another pair that I really kind of like to trade on the. In fact, a huge sell-off, right? Huge sell-off. You can see it's a big sell-off, and the question is, can we get a turn trade here? So it's right now we have the elements for a turn trade setting up. I'm actually going to see if I could set that up on my currency platform there. I'm just setting it up to see, if it does trigger, I'll let you know. So for this obviously to work, you're going to need much better price action to the upside. You're going to need to turn green, and then you need to turn it to a breakout, and then only then will you have a signal. So we'll see. It may be more likely that pound yen will be the first turn signal. Let's watch pound yen for a little bit here. for the next couple of minutes. Anybody have any questions? Everybody enjoying the setup? I mean, it's as good as I can get it. I don't think I can get it any better than this. There's always going to be the element of failure. The point being is that I've tried to minimize the element of failure to its absolute minimum, right? Cheryl likes it a lot. Cool. What I like about it is, and we actually have a little time now, so we may just switch to larger charts. What I like about it is that it's a universal asset setup. I mean, it actually works super great on crypto. And if I only had crypto to trade, actually, you know what? CME is going to do micro Bitcoin futures, so I may actually dip my toe. I gotta figure out if AMP is going to put the crypto on the platform. But yeah, I mean that's going to be super interesting to put that up. I still think that it's so expensive that the margins are going to be just massive, even on the macro. It's going to be what? So it's going to be 1/10, which is 50, which is 5,000. It's going to be 15,000 notional. I should not be 15,000 notional. Should that's much less than the. I mean, NAS is 26,000 notional, right? And S&P is 20,000 notional, so it should be less than the margin should be okay. We'll see. So I'll let you know on that. I mean, I was just going to show you. We can actually just switch to crypto just for a second, just to show you. So here's Ethereum, right, which is just a monster move, and and you could just see Ethereum, especially, and this is anytime you catch an asset on a strong trend structure. Look at Ethereum, buy winner, all within our structure, right? All within our structure, right? Let's take a look at where's my biddy? Where's my biddy? Little bitty. So here's biddy to the downside. I guess I could cheat a little bit. This is pretty much equal. So green to red, pretty much equal short trade to the downside, right? Clear, red, green here, short over here, clear to the downside. Obviously, you have to trade this with massively wide stops. I don't think you trade this with less than a $400 stop because the amount of it just literally retraces $400 in a candle, right? So it goes like 200 against you, then it finally drops another 500 in your direction. It's kind of like $100 in Bitcoin is like 1 pip in FX. Is you kind of have to think about it that way. But yeah, I mean, these are all super conducive instruments to trading it, trading in this particular way. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to let's go to like the 1 hour chart just to go to well, here's right off the bat, 1 hour chart this morning, right? Look at this. Selling 34s, down here, down 200. So like, how Kathy basically sort of trades 20/40 on the 1 hour chart? Well, that's the sweet spot for our trading structure. It's a 20/40 trade on the 1 hour chart when you get these setups. The thing is that we don't quite get quite get these setups a lot. So you have to be super, you don't get too many signals. Like this is, for example, the 20th of it. This is the first legitimate signal, because if you look at all of these signals, they actually are not, if you stick to the rules, are not legitimate signals. Even this, for example, dips a little bit below on the move. This actually is a signal, I guess. Sorry, there was a signal on the 21st where you took this long at 42, 40 stop, and you made 62, you made 20 points on the move here. So you had 2 winners over here. This is you're really stretching it. It's so tight. And again, if you sort of cheated and you said, listen, I'm actually going to use this as my breakout, and these are all bullshit little retraces, so I think this is a legitimate upside, and I can take that, you could do that. So you would have had 3 winners in a row if you took this particular trade to the upside. But if you were super um, adherent to the rules, you really just didn't quite, because the breakdown here, this is just marginally dipped below, because the breakout, the trend started here at 66, and the dip here was down to 63. And that, if you make a rule saying, okay, on a 1 hour chart, I'm going to give myself a three pip variance, on the rule, you could get away with it, because most of the time, I think, a 3 pip variance to the rule will still, as you can see over here, almost every trade to the upside would have worked on a short retrace move, right? Here, you don't even need a 3 pip variance, because this actually is below the above the breakout line. So this would have worked. Really, if you adhere to the rules very, very strictly, the only time you wouldn't have been able to get a trade is on this particular trade. But if you look at this, this is a winner, this is a winner. So there's 4 trades that are plus 20 points each since the start of April on the 1 hour chart, right? Just super clean, super sharp, with just no fudging of the rules, no fudging of the rules whatsoever. Just straight up rules as is. Let's take a look at the cable trade here, and right away you can see no fudging of the rules, straight up this trade. No trades here. No trades here so far. This actually, okay, sorry. So this is a legitimate hourly sell. So if you were to trade this on the hour chart, and as I said, you're always going to get failure. So this may be one of those failures, but it may still work. So cable here is your entry is 49, 50. The stop is 90, target is 30, right? So because this is a legitimately clean sell trade, the green is well below the red on the 1 hour chart. The pressure is to the downside, so you could have the move, and it could work. I'm actually curious, given the fact that this is a short sell. No, it's not a short sell. We don't have a short sell here. Now, what's interesting here is, so you can look at pound Swiss, which is a clear short potential setup. Short potential setup, meaning that the green here is clearly below the red. And if you get a sell break signal, strong or not strong, you have a short sell signal. It's kind of interesting too, right? You could here you would fudge. If you here it becomes interpretive. You have a big down leg. You have a small up leg over here that kind of consolidates and then gives you this tiny little green that is just a bit above the breakout. So this would if you were very strict to the rules, this would invalidate. Although I take it back, even if you invalidate, so let's say this gets invalidated, right? And this is the beautiful thing about the setup that I always forget. Even if this gets passed up, you often get a second chance, which is sometimes a better chance. So you can see here, you get a tiny, like a 2 hour, like I make it super big. You guys see how tiny this is? A tiny little green retrace, right? Totally fails, but the algo would have caught this. This is clearly below this one. This is clearly a legitimate sell. So if you sold this, and what is this? This is 54, right? The stop would be 94 with a target of 34, and you can see, it goes all the way down, right? So you can totally see how this trades out one way or the other in terms of structures. If you're trading the 1 hour chart on longer term basis, and that's going to be like we're first going to first put this rule set into the EA, and then we're going to be able to make the EA with the filter, with that particular filter in there. So we can literally be able to see the sell, the sell buy filters on this particular rule set, which will be awesome because then we can have like a matrix of 26 currencies that will give us the full dashboard of possibilities. Dashboard of possibilities. I love that. What do you guys think about that? Dashboard of possibilities. Don't you love that? I love that. I'm gonna trademark that. Fumihiro finally understood the setup. Great. What helped you? Fumihiro, can you tell me what helped you understand so that maybe I can learn to explain it better, especially to non-English speakers? Because I know, God knows I speak fast and I speak with New York accent, so nobody understands me. All right, well, you let me know if if you can explain it to me. All right, let's go back to the 1 minute chart, our favorite place in the world. And got nothing else. Everything is kind of just consolidating a little bit. Looks like we might be not even close. Jesus. NASDAQ's just making fresh lows. Look at this. We took out 13.5. Wow. Yeah, so what was I saying? I was saying the Dow is the likeliest to turn first. And maybe, wow, and yeah, even Russell is getting shaved here. Really nothing much going on here. Oh, you know what, you guys, I know you guys wanted to look at gold, right? So I never trade gold, but let's look at this on the gold side. I mean, the gold side, right away, I see a clean entry on the gold side here today. Gold is a spiky little bitch. So what am I looking for here? So I mean, and I don't, on a 1 minute chart, how far does gold extend really? So here, a 1 minute chart, I guess it's a dollar. I guess it goes a dollar. So if you traded a dollar against 4, so this is a winner to the upside because it's a clear. Is it a clear? Is it clear even? No, it's not clear. So this one is just a little bit dipped below. Let me see. Maybe this is the early one. So the actual trade. Oh no, it's not. Well, it's a spiky little. So that's interesting. So basically, with gold, this is the clear sell. You're selling over here right into the bottom at 85s. How far does it? It doesn't really go. You get stuffed. It goes 87 down to 84. Maybe you make a point here on gold to the downside, to the short side. Then the true long doesn't happen. Another true short here. Wow, man, this is a spiky little instrument. So the short here at 82 goes right up, it blows you out. Totally blows you out, to the upside. So wouldn't work on this setup, but then it does work nice and cleanly on this setup. I wonder, I wonder if the 5 minute chart. I just think gold is so hard to trade. I mean, the 5 minute chart is so much cleaner, right? Clean setup here. Even if you fail over here, it becomes a much cleaner setup here to this trade over here at 83 all the way down. Looks like the 5 minute chart is the right trade chart. Look, gold, as you can see, very, very spiky. And it's actually interesting because I think it's indicative of some sort of a regime. Gold is really trying to figure out if it wants to rally or not. And so you get these very sharp two-way moves, which is not, remember, our trade is a continuation trade, so we need some smoothness. And the fact that it's kind of very spiky here suggests it's gone through a lot of consolidation. It's also like a low liquidity instrument, and I don't really love trading it that way. But actually, let's go. Let me just pull this up a little bit. I guess we'll go to April. Let's see if April 28th, just midweek April last, just to see how it looks on a 5-minute chart. So here it looks relatively clean. It's a clean trade. Here it's a clean trade. I guess the 5-minute chart is the trade you really want. You still get spikes, but here the spikes would have worked. The thing is they're super fast. You get short here, 64. It breaks down like 10 points. This is a fake out move here. But this is Asia. So, Asia is always, I would never trade gold in Asia. It's probably the single worst. You have a low liquidity instrument in the lowest liquidity time frame. This is a legitimate trade in Europe because this is a break to the downside. That is, although I see this may have been validated because of this. So maybe not. You see very, very choppy construct. But most of the interesting thing is that the setup doesn't take you into a lot. It takes you into some, but not nearly all the really bad setups, because this wouldn't have been a trade. Now you wouldn't have sold a lot of bottoms. You would have sold this one because this was significantly lower. And I guess, Jesus, very tough to trade. But I guess this would have been legitimate. This was legitimate. It finally, as you can see, when it's in a range bound structure, you're going to get a lot more false positives. When it's a trend bound, anytime you get a trend bound structure, you get a much stronger, cleaner trades. And so you have to trade accordingly and accept the fact that you're going to have these things. But it's not just that it's a range bound structure. It's the worst kind of range bound structure. What really is super bad for this setup is where it bounces off the highs and lows in super sharp ways. So there's literally no continuation as it gives you a sell signal or a buy signal, and then a full stop out as it goes all the way to the top of the range and then comes back down again. It comes back down again. So this kind of highly spiky, discontinuous price action you need to be aware of. And really, the best way is to, if you get like 1 or 2 stops, you just stop trading until all of the highs and lows are cleared. Basically, if you got stopped out more than once or twice, you got stopped out twice, I wouldn't have traded this until the price action totally broke through the range. And then you at least have a much more cleaner setup on the range. I see. Karen says she trades 2 points on gold for every 20 points in a Dow. Is how she likes to trade it. Okay. I'm gonna leave it to your expertise, not my cup of tea for I really a lot of people like gold and it's great. It's just not my my instrument. I was listening, my friend Mandy Rafsanjani, who's a trading coach, she did a great interview with, actually, you know what? Let me text this interview to you guys. Where's Etienne's little? I'm gonna do a podcast with Etienne eventually. Oh, I think I did it on my. Let me find myself. Let me find my own. Where's my own? Feed. I'll get this. I want to give you this link. It's a really, really good link. Where's this? Wow, Bill Gates and Melinda Gates. Oh, here it is. Okay, so let me text you this link. This is a great interview. One of the things she talks about is why is it funny that sorry, no, it's the wrong one. Why is it funny that I'm giving you the wrong link here? So hold on a second, guys. Sorry. Can't copy. Can't copy. Cancel. Copy link address. Let me make sure I got this. Control V. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's a great interview with Mandy, where she talks about that the single most important thing is to trade what you like, the way you like and what you like, because it doesn't matter how good the setup is. If it's against your personality, you'll never do it. And I think gold is kind of like against my personality. I really sort of came to that conclusion. Maybe my personality will change. You know, I've learned to love Brussels sprouts, so maybe I'll learn to love gold. But we'll have to give it some time. All right, let's take a look back. Let's just close up with indices. Just see where we're at. Talk about what potential trades we might have on the turn side. So NAS has finally found a little bit of a bottom at the 13,500 level. So this is Dow. So Dow, this is interesting. So Dow now. How now, Dow now? So if Dow goes red, well, no, it has to really go green significantly, then red, then green, in order for us to get a good look and a good trade. Right now, it's just not a great trade. As a matter of fact, all of these things, instead of me trying to trade turn, all of these things, the most immediate trade right now is if the green break, if this green covering setup fails and we start turning red and starts creating breakdown signals, those are all going to be legitimate sell signals, because really the dominant leg right now is the short leg, right? The dominant leg is the short leg, and that's what we should be focusing on. So we should be looking for additional short trades if they appear. That's the much more intelligent way for us to look at stuff. All right, guys. So we had a pretty good day. I'll let you know how all the other stuff on FX turns out. It's just still floating. There's nothing, nothing much going on until it kind of resolves itself. One day I'll change my mind on gold. But I told you, I learned to love Brussels sprouts. Maybe I'll learn to love gold, Although I will tell you, I think I probably will gravitate towards crypto before I get to gold. But, we'll get to that. Otherwise, good day. I forgot. I don't. What I count. We only actually, honestly, just did for official records. I just did like 3 on Nasdaq and 5 on Euro Aussie. We didn't do any other trades live. But we have a lot of stuff floating. And for all of you guys, you really. I mean, I missed the Dow trade. Dow trade was a super easy 10. That I totally missed it, but you guys catch it. But I'm not going to count it as a call today. More importantly, it's the structure, right? It's the algo, it's the scanner, it's the whole infrastructure for how we can pick the best possible setups with the wind at our back. Now I forgot. What did I call it? Dashboard of opportunity. Dashboard of opportunity. I'm writing this down in the room so I don't forget. I'm going to call it the dashboard of opportunity. Of opportunity. If I could only spell opportunity. Now I like dashboard of opportunity even better than possibility. And I'm going to trademark this at TM. Trademarked by me officially, I think. Oh, it's giving me somebody else's thing. So I'm just going to do TM. It's giving me a signal. All right, guys, super fun. I had a great day with you guys today. So I have I'll let you know tomorrow. I'm on the tenterhooks because I may have to take my Pomeranian to the vet tomorrow, and if I do, unfortunately, I won't be able to make the market open. But then we'll definitely be there on Thursday. So we may only wind up having 2 sessions this week, simply because changes. And then on Friday, we don't have a session this week because Kathy and I are doing trading battle. Well, Kathy is doing trading battle. I'm just going to be the pretty face to support her for non-farm payrolls with ACAP. So if you guys, I'm actually, I'm going to ask them if they're okay with us giving the link, which will be fun because we're going to have two really good traders trade the trading battle against each other. So I think they'll be okay with us, disseminating the link, and I will. I'll let you know. Anyways, possibly no Zoom tomorrow. Definitely one on Thursday, and no on Friday. Just letting you guys know what the layout of the day is today. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, and thanks for helping me out with explaining for me here. I totally understand lower highs, higher lows is very difficult, and it's much better to explain it visually. Mel, are you getting? I know you wrote to me. Are you getting the structure better now? I try to explain this, I think, in this webinar better than I have before. Yeah, today is recorded. Today is all recorded. I'm gonna post it up, and I'll actually put in there. Oh, you missed the start? Okay, yeah. So I'll put in there that explanation of the trade is in the recording, so everybody can watch it. Okay, sounds good, guys. All right, we're still putzing around. It was still heavy. Still looking for it. We'll see if there's any sell signals on the Dow as we go into the day. Otherwise, everybody have a wonderful day. I'll see everybody probably tomorrow, but if not, certainly Thursday. I'll see everybody then. Take care.